First of all, I hope you guys are having a great, couple of days off. Tomorrow you go back to work, right? I don't work, so I'm good. Yes! Yo! That was the most aggressive nicety I've ever... Yes! One second I thought I was going to be raped, and the second... First of all, I'm so happy to be back in, honestly, my favorite country in the Middle East, which is Amman. I really love this country. I truly mean that. I know a lot of people say that, it's like, this is my favorite country here in Machu Picchu. But I mean, I've been to Amman, this is my 17th time back in Amman. It's become like my own, like, Shawar Marim is my, you know what I'm saying? Mansaf has become who I am. Because I can't relate with the Lebanese, this is too gay for us. They don't get... We'll talk about... First of all, do we have any Lebanese people in the crowd tonight? Anyone? 1, 2, 4 people. Enough for a civil war, so be very careful. Very careful, Jordan. Do we have anyone from Palestine? Nassar, Palestine. Do we have any Jordanians in the crowd? Wow! What a coincidence! Man, I love Amman, I love Jordania because of the people, right? And because as a Lebanese person, I've actually been here so many times that I've started to realize that the Jordanians and the Lebanese have a lot in common. However, the Jordanians, you guys, you take what we do and then you do it like just much more gangster. And you make us look like, let me give some examples, okay? This is what Jordanians do. First of all, the Lebanese and Jordanians have something that we do. Actually, it's only us, the Lebanese, the Jordanians, and the Indians. Who are the only 3 people in the world. Indians, and we're the only 3 people that actually, we connect our gas in our homes ourselves. So and we carry them like on our backs, and we go home and we hook it up. We're the only people that do that. And what we both do, the Jordanians and the Lebanese, is to test if we've done it correctly. We take a flame of fire and we put it to the gas. My mom told me, she's like, hey, is انفجرت يعني ما ركبتها. Well, you think? لكن نموت بدنا نعرف. It's just like, okay. But here's the Jordanian. You got, like, in Lebanon, we call a guy and he comes up on what we call a tostaizi, which is a movie lad, like, and he connects it. You guys, you take trucks and put like 30 of these bottles on them, and then drive them in populated, it's like a nuclear weapon driving through populated areas, and you call attention to the truck and put happy birthday to you, which I think is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. The first time, years ago, I was here in Jordan in the summer, and it was hot, and it was like 60, 72,000 degrees outside, and I was melting, and I heard ice cream. This is fantastic. I was so excited, and I'm like, what the? Here's another thing that Jordanians and Lebanese have in common. We both have politicians, obviously. That's actually everybody does. But what we have in common is we get politicians who go on TV and get angry and fight, right? And we were the first. We were the first to have 2 politicians flip out on TV. That was us, and we were proud. But it was gay, because what happened is the 2 politicians on our channel, and they had the guy interviewing them, and then he's like, oh, and he throws water, and the guy was like, it was incredibly, and the other guy's like picks up a chair, and then he puts it down, and like, he's like, but it was like the weakest display of power It was, but we were proud. We were just like, yeah, the Nemir. And then you guys, like 6 months later, you got two politicians, and the guy, he pulled out a gun. One guy pulled out a gun, because that's what you do in Jordan. You go to TV interviews armed. He pulled out a gun. Now, that was incredibly gangster, but what was even more gangster and more awesome was the other dude, because if a guy pulled out a gun at me, I'd be like, ah, I'd run away. And the other guy was like, oh, I don't get shoot me. I want to take your bullets, you son of a... It was like, I stood up and I was like, these Jordanians kick the ass, this is amazing. And Jordanian women, they tell me, they're like, women make fun of Jordanian men because they're not romantic like Lebanese guys. Is this right, women? Is this true? Well, women, I'm here to tell you, no, don't worry, guys, I'm with you. I'm going to sleep with my fellow man. That's what's going to happen today. Yes! Because if there is one truth in this world, it's that Arab women are scary and need to unite. Or we will not be able to enjoy our lives. This is the truth. Here's the thing. Jordanian men are possibly some of the manliest men in the Middle East, okay? Lebanese... The reason Lebanese men aren't romantic, we're just incredibly, incredibly gay. It's not gay like homosexual, it's gay French, because we have French, and it's very... It's not our fault. We were ruled by gay. It was from Luna, and it was like this thing. You know, like seriously, like, how can you take a guy seriously? He's like, yeah, it's stunning. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I asked the Jordanian guy, I'm like, what do you tell a woman if she's wearing a beautiful dress? And he's like, and that was it. That was I was like, well, how do you hit on, like, what do you tell a girl to get her attention? He's like, oh, ish ya jaman. Jaman! You call your women camels! You call a Lebanese woman kaemak jaman, mate! There's no way! Jordanian gangster is like, Khassil, Saruch, like military weapons, like so, you know? Like everything Jordanians do screams manliness. Mansaf is the manliest food in the world. You guys, you took mansaf. The beauty of mansaf is it's made of 3 core ingredients, which makes it manly because it's simple. It doesn't need any finesse or anything. It's just rice and meat and jamid, right? And jamid, in its original form, is a solid 52 or 60 kilo. You could basically kill someone. It's a weapon. It's actually a weapon. And a Jordanian guy like 600 years ago was like, I wonder what this tastes like. Like that was, and you cook the weapon and you eat a weapon. That's the manliest. You don't get manlier than that. And you eat it with your hands like, like I do the thing, but Lebanese guys would be like, yeah, but the show. You guys are just like, but it is a bit gay in the beginning, like, because you have like 12 guys if it's a big meal, and they're all like standing with their hand behind their back, and then we're just like, you know, and you're having a conversation, you're like, but there are rules, like if you touch their triangles, and if you eat from the dude's triangle next to you, he can like punish you. He'll take out a gun. I don't know what you're doing. Saudi Arabians. Do we have any Saudi Arabians in the crowd tonight? Anyone from Saudi? Shit. You never come. Why do you come? Why today? Saudi Arabian men. are possibly the manliest men in the Middle East, even more than Jordanians. And let me tell you why. Because let me tell you why. When Saudi Arabian men don't like something, they spit. They're just like, God. There's no manlier way to tell somebody screw you than to spit. And I was in Saudi Arabia when Virgin Megastores opened. And it was a very confusing time. They were like, Virgin? And they were spitting, and we were slipping in Virgin. It was horrible. It was a disaster. But I mean, I've been to Saudi many times. I've never felt sexier. I've never felt sexier in my life. And when I felt so sexy, I felt like a woman. This was amazing. I was in Riyadh. Riyadh is the more conservative one, right? I was in Riyadh, and it was I think 200 or 300 degrees outside. And I said to myself, I'm going to wear shorts. That was my decision. I said, man, let us wear shorts. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So I wore my shorts, which weren't very short, by the way. I'm not into that thing with the opening and you run, you're like, oh, I'm not into that. They were like to here. They were short, like pantorts, like whatever, ports. And I wore them, and I went into the elevator, and there's this guy apparently who's in the hotel whose job is to find the heathens that wear the shorts. And when I went into the elevator, and I was like, and the door, it's like bing, it opened, the guy's like, get back in here! He scared the shit. He's like, you cannot wear those! I was like, what? What did I, what? You are wearing shorts! I was like, because it's freaking hot, what? I can't wear shorts. He's like, your legs! I was like, what's wrong with my legs? He's like, your legs, they can seduce. I was like, stop it, you. I swear, I wore shorts everywhere. I was just like, somebody shout at me, this is great. I love the Middle East. Like, I've obviously, the accent, I lived in America during my childhood, and I came back to the Middle East, and I went back, I've gone to the US many times, I've performed in the US, but I can't live there. And I think all of you will identify, if you've been to America and you're an Arab, you can't, after having lived in the Middle East for a while, just be okay. Let me make it clear. The US is a great place, but it's just, like in the Middle East, everything, we get everything. Just like we can do things ourselves as Arabs. Like if you go to my country, Lebanon, and there are traffic lights, they're purely optional. And nobody hits anyone. We don't have, because we know red means go, and yellow means assess the situation, and green means stop because somebody's on a red. So this, we know, and we know. Nobody told us, but we know. This is what we do. But in America, they need everything to be explained to them, and they have laws. Like, I'm Lebanese, it doesn't work for me. Like, I got a ticket. I went to California a couple years ago. I got a ticket for crossing the road on foot. Let me repeat, I wasn't in a car. I was walking across the road, and the reason it happened is they have these things that say you can, like red, you can't cross, and it was red and there were no cars, so I crossed. Ooh. And it was a small road, and from behind me, I hear this guy's like, sir, how dare you, sir, come back here, sir! Not on my watch, not on my, I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? He comes up to me, he's like, boom, in my face, he's like, sir, you broke the law, you broke the law. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you crossed the road before you were indicated to do so. I was like, there were no cars, that was my indication. And he was like, oh, we have a smart ass. You think you're a smart ass, don't you? And he shoves me. He's like, where are you from? He's like, you don't even look like you're from around here. Where are you from? Jersey? I was like, actually, I'm from a place called Lebanon. He's like, I was like, it's horrible. Do you guys remember George W. Bush? You remember him. Nobody can forget him. How many people like George Bush? Here's my thing. I loved him, and let me tell you why. Because I'm a comedian, and he was amazing for me. It was just like, so I made so much material from this guy. And my favorite Bush moment was when they threw shoes at him in Iraq, and he revealed himself as Neo from The Matrix. That was the highlight, where the guy was just like, he was like Agent Smith. He was like the American beef. It was amazing. But I was in New York when that happened. I woke up in the morning and I turned on the TV and there was breaking news. And they're like, there's been an attack on the President of the United States of America, which I thought was way too much. But that was what happened. I was like, please don't let it be an Arab. That was my first. It's like, let it be somebody else. And they're like, in Iraq. I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, they're like, with a shoe. I was like, with a shoe? My mom's thrown millions of shoes at me. There's no. Everybody's mom has Arab moms with the shoes. And they throw. I would run into a room and lock the door and be like, come through the fucking window. Amazing. And nobody ever made a big deal out of it. So why is he flipping out the It's a shoe, man. And I'm watching and they made this whole thing and then the woman, she's like, we have a specialist on Arab culture to explain to us the significance of throwing a shoe at someone in the Middle East. They needed someone to explain what could be the meaning of this nobody knows. So this Arab dude comes up and she's like, Mr. Muhammad, Mr. Terrorist, thank you very much for joining us today, sir. And she goes to him, she's like, sir, is it considered an insult to throw your shoe at someone in the Middle East? She had to ask him. Where in the world is it not an insult to throw our people at Celine Dion concerts in Canada like, oh my God, Celine! 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 I love you! She's not looking bitch! I started! No! And this guy, the Arab dude, was so gangster. I'm sure he was Jordanian.